Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Motorcycle Park in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa. Baxter Cycle is just over there, on over the hill. Check out what we got today. Look at this. Have you guys seen one of these? That is a, what is that? That's a Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450, but I bet you haven't seen this color. Not if you're in America anyway. That is a yellow ribbon 450. Now what is that doing here? I can't, they're not on the website. You're not supposed to be able to buy these, but yet there it is. I've been riding it around town. It is an absolutely gorgeous bike. It looks, I've seen these in pictures. They look great in pictures. They look, I mean, awesome in real life. I mean, it's just a stunning looking motorcycle. I'm absolutely envious of the owner. Look at that, purple right there. The purple dots through here. Guerrilla on the side. Guerrilla here, purple right here, black and yellow. You know, he's got the yellow tail tidy. It's just a wow motorcycle. So what is it? What is a Guerrilla? A Guerrilla is a 450cc, 452cc, single cylinder, liquid cooled, dual overhead cam, 4-valve head, makes about 40 horsepower, 30 foot-pounds of torque. That's about 40 newton meters. All runs through a beautiful 6-speed transmission. That sounds familiar. Why is that? Well, because it's the same engine as the Royal Enfield Himalayan. It's tuned differently, that's my opinion, and I think the bike might be geared differently. When you go from first to second, second pulls like a banshee, and the other gear that seems to have an impressive amount of pull is fifth, fourth to fifth. It just wow, you know. So good around town, a really strong pull on the highway. I am very impressed with that engine. I'm very happy with how this thing runs. The bike weighs 408 pounds, which I think is about 185 kilograms. I think that's what it is. It's got 17-inch tire in the front and the rear. It's you know, it's got the, I can't remember the seat height. I'll put that down below right now. These are my Noru gloves, my old wore out. These are several years old. Okay, this is not the stock seat. I don't know what they call this seat, but it's a Royal Enfield seat. Check that out right there. Isn't that beautiful? Royal right there. Absolutely gorgeous. It's you know, a lot of things aren't stock on this one actually. So he's got about 600 miles on it. He's, you know, just got it. Well, let's go back to specs. Monoshock rear end. I think it's a 5.5 inches of travel in the rear, which is about 180 millimeters, I believe. You know what? I don't know what it is on the rear. It's 5.5 inches. I'll put the millimeters right now. It's a 6-inch or 5.9 inches of travel in the front. I'll put the millimeters on right now. It's got a 320 millimeter disc with dual piston Barbary calipers right there. Check it out. ABS front and rear, of course. Look at this, covered forks, LED everything, of course. Just a beautiful thing. 17-inch tire on the rear again. I think this is a 270 disc with a single piston Barbary caliper. He's even got the purple in the rims. Isn't that beautiful? Tubeless tires, of course. They're a Seat tire, Seat Gripper XL. Just look at that. Isn't that just, look at that. Look, isn't that just wow? You know, I love this part, this little tail cone right here, this little, very reminiscent of a very popular bike that I grew up with. Just check that out. It just jumps out at you, doesn't it? It's got the stock exhaust on it for now. It does have a center stand. You know, what a bike, huh? What a bike. It's, when I say what a bike, it's just a fun, excellent handling motorcycle. It's so nimble and so quick handling. I just did the coastal highway in California with our good friend Pinky, and he and I were both talking about what, you know, this bike would do on that road. He has a Spark Villain also. We didn't ride it on that trip, but we were thinking, you know, one of these and that Spark Villain would just tear those roads up. Same thing going into Death Valley. There's this really twisty, long, miles long road. You know, this bike would just be an absolute hoot on that road because of its lightweight, low center of gravity, shorter wheelbase, and excellent handling. You know, the 17-inch front tire, and it's just a. Yeah, I'm a little excited. Can you tell? But this one is just a sparkling example in that yellow ribbon color. I'm just so impressed with it. A little bit more about the motorcycle. It's got the I call it the Oculus. It's a TFT gauge, circular. It's a Guerrilla on it, huh? So this is similar to the Himalayan and similar to the Bear. Tachometers on the outside, fuel gauge right here, gear indicator in the center, miles per hour over here, ambient air temperature over here, clock right there, odometer right there. Then if you go over here to this joystick, switch to the left, look right down here. Trip meter, trip 2, range, consumption, voltage, service due, and engine temperature. There it is. The other neat trick that this thing will do is, if you push this little button here, the mode button, watch that gauge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does that. Well, why is that important? This top end becomes a map. There's a little symbol over here that gives you turn by turn. You can use the joystick to zoom in and out on that map, and it's a nav system. You hook it to your phone, and you can use that as a nav system, so you don't have to hook a nav up here separately or anything like that. I like this system. It works very well. It's got two colors, white and black. You can keep it so it's always in black if you'd like, or you can keep it to where it switches between black and white depending on what your mood is. Again, there's a mode button. We hold that in for 5 seconds. There we go. And I hit the flashers for some reason. Isn't that neat? Very good working system. Clutch over here, home button right here, flash to pass, low beam, high beam, blinkers, horn, the joystick I already talked about. Over here, brake lever, hazard lights, kill switch, run switch. You hear the fuel pump, and then you rock it this way, and that's the starter. Isn't that neat? See the tachometer right there? That's bone stock exhaust. It's a pretty good bike stock, isn't it? It's a pretty good sounding motorcycle. Me gusta mucho. It's he's got bar end mirrors on it. These are Royal Enfield bar end mirrors. Let's see what else he has on it. Oh, this is an add-on right here. A little deflector for the bugs. I like that. Let's see what else he's done here. He just got this, so like I said, it only has 600 miles on it. Other than, of course, the whole paint job is different. Kill that thing right there. It's just a beautiful bike. The other thing that Baxter Cycle did is you can actually install, they haven't done it on this one yet, I'm sure they will. You can install the cruise control, the Viridian cruise control on this, and you know, then you have a bike with a full functioning cruise control. Very nice. I like the filler cap offset also. I have a Himalayan where the filler cap is centered, and I always feel like, you know, I could get more gas in if it was offset. I don't know if you can or not, but fuel tank is 2.9 gallons. I think that's 11 liters. You know, is that enough fuel? I did this, I borrowed, I can't remember whose it was, Andy Lee's. Andy, he did some videos on that. Andy Lee bought one of these, and I put the first, I can't remember if it was 600 or 700 miles on it for him. And I drove it all the way across Iowa, 250 miles, and came back 250 miles. I did back roads going out and did interstate coming back. The fuel capacity was every 120 miles you had to stop and get fuel. Now, that was a fun trip. The bike, even though it's a sporty bike, it is a sport bike, it has very good sport handling. It has a lot of suspension, you know, 5.5 inches on the back, almost 6 inches on the front, or about 6 inches. So it handles very well. And that suspension worked very well on that long ride. I was very happy with that. Saying that, I would, you know, if I had one of these, I would be happy to put bags in the back. If I could get a windshield maybe, or just have good gear, I would be happy to drive this across the country. It's really that. It does okay. It does really, really well. Look at that. Radiator right there, of course. Little indent right there for the tire, I suppose. I like the whole thing, isn't it? It's just a happy, shiny motorcycle. Great thing, great thing. Now, if y'all are interested in a bike like this, and you're used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajiggies, doodads, you know, coats, jackets, helmets, gloves, and accessories of any type, get yourself over here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa. Come down and check out Motorcycle Park, and or go to baxtercycle.com. Tell those fine folks that Fuzzy from Motorcycle Park sent you. It's a beautiful motorcycle. I appreciate the owner lending it to us. I think I am going to give this back to him and go hop on another motorcycle and go for a ride. Get off the couch, get out of that easy chair, get out there and live life, my friends. Wahoo! It's so nimble.
Kick the grease side down.
Wahoo! Vermont, Wahoo!
Wahoo, Alaska!